The film Poverty, Inc. delves into the complex issue of the sugar industry in the Philippines, revealing how a vicious cycle of debt and poverty creates a total quagmire that permeates the entire society. It's not just an issue of a few individuals, but a complicated entanglement of interests involving landowners, laborers, and the government. The quagmire of the Philippine sugar industry. The film analyzes the crisis from three key perspectives. Landowners lured by the corrupt Marcos regime and international capitalists, they indulged in lavish lifestyles, but ultimately fell into crippling debt. Their extravagance and wastefulness initiated the chain reaction of debt. Laborers, despite high nominal wages, their actual take-home pay was meager due to the high-interest loans they were forced to take from the landowners to survive. The traditional practice of having many children to secure labor ironically exacerbated the cycle of poverty. The government, the democratic government that succeeded the corrupt Marcos regime, in its attempt to reform, implemented flawed policies like land reform that failed to consider the on-the-ground realities. Instead of solving the problem, they only made the situation more complex. This precarious situation was pushed over the edge by the FTA Free Trade Agreement in 2015, which flooded the market with cheap, imported sugar, proving to be the final blow to the local industry, a critical lens on other societies. The film's core message can be applied to other societies by substituting sugar with other critical economic sectors like livestock, rice, automobiles, real estate, or semiconductors. The Philippines' plight is a cautionary tale for any nation. It highlights the dangers of over-reliance on a single industry and the systemic risks of a debt-ridden society. The film critically examines a system where a tiny fraction of society, the top 0.1% of conglomerates, benefits at the expense of the majority, who are trapped in a modern form of debt slavery. This suggests that the situation in the Philippines is not so different from what is happening in other nations. The beginning of a solution. While the film offers no easy answers, it does provide a starting point for thinking about solutions based on the identified root causes. Systemic reform, simple policy changes are not enough. The failure of land reform shows that a holistic approach is needed, with meticulous policy design that accounts for real-world conditions. Examples include providing direct financial assistance to small farmers or empowering them through cooperatives, education, and shifting mindsets. The film points to wasteful living and uncontrolled procreation as contributing factors. This indicates that overcoming the issue requires more than just financial aid. It calls for a change in mindset regarding sustainable economic practices, rational consumption, and family planning, transparent governance. As government corruption was a central cause, enhancing the transparency of public institutions is crucial. Policy effectiveness and public trust depend on a government that is free from corruption. Ultimately, these are not quick fixes, but long-term projects that require a fundamental restructuring of society. The deeper problem of debt and leverage. The film also forces a deeper consideration of debt and leverage. Debt, by definition, is a tool to create leverage on existing assets. In an inflationary environment, debt can be a necessary tool to offset asset depreciation. However, during periods of deflation, the focus should shift to deleveraging and reducing debt to prevent collapse. This means that the use of debt must be carefully managed and critically evaluated based on the economic cycle, government policy, and major shifts in the financial system. The decision to take on or offload debt should be a strategic and deliberate choice, not a blind one.